Welcome to FTB Weekends. We are recording this on Saturday, the 28th of May. We're almost in June. We're almost in the summer. It's 1:21 p.m. in the afternoon in case developments happen after we record it. I'm Jason C. McLean. Welcome, of course, Dawn McSweeney.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm just back from the East Coast and I am loving life.
All right. Well, loving life. Well, yeah, you had a good week. Of course, we'll get right into it. Not everybody had a good week. There was another horrible after the mall shooting, racially based mall shooting in Buffalo. I think the other week, 2 weeks ago, there was another school shooting. This time, elementary school kids in Texas, and this time, I mean, it's obviously it's an ongoing story. It's a story that keeps happening. Thoughts and prayers, what have you. But they don't seem to do anything about the gun problem. But this time, there's also was a problem. Apparently, the cops didn't even want to go in.
Well, there were some armed police already in there, like the school had armed guards and the cops didn't go in. Literally heard a quote today from the cops saying that they didn't go in because they might have gotten shot. So that's not the solution. Also, thoughts and prayers. I only have so many, and I'm not the only one that I've spoken to who is maybe not giving them to the states as much. Sure, individuals, it's terrible, and all the power to that woman Angeli. I don't have her name here. I believe it was, but a parent who confronted the police, and a mother who confronted the police and was told that she couldn't go in. They weren't going in. They at one point handcuffed her. She, she was released, hopped a fence, went in the school, brought her children out, because mothers are better than cops.
But what's the reason? I mean, the whole thing is they might get shot. Yeah, people are getting shot. That's why you go in. I mean, I remember
I'm not going to try to use logic on America anymore. There are really big things happening in the world and problems that we might be able to solve. And America has no interest in solving its own problems. So I'm reserving my sentiments for more productive and progressive issues at this stage in time.
Okay, but we should still talk. I mean, for example, like in Montreal, we had a tragedy, the Dawson shooting. And I remember the police, yes, eventually back up right, but there were some that were just went in right away that happened to be by. I mean, I know everyone says like that's what the police, that's their actual job, is to actually deal with situations like that.
Yes.
Like not to do traffic stops and make up parties. Like that's when you need them. That's the one time you need them. Like, where are they?
You had one job.
Yeah,
you had one job. And even if and like the woman who went in to get her own children, just because you're in a uniform doesn't mean you're a hero, and just because you're not doesn't mean you aren't. Because at the end of the day, if any of those men holding their guns and their bulletproof vests were heroes in their heart, they would have gone in regardless of the threat to themselves to save children. And at the end of the day, you can't legislate that. You can't put that in a job description. You're either a hero or you're not. I'm not saying I am, but if you want the respect and you wear that uniform and you hold that gun and you think that you are the thin blue line between good and evil, and you don't act when that happens, you should all hang your heads in shame. You should all turn in your badges. End of story, point finale.
No, it's obvious.
Meanwhile, the NRA convention is currently going on in Houston, where Trump was seeking, and not only that, had the audacity, the gall, the poor taste, nothing new for him or the NRA, but to read off the names of the victims. Meanwhile, while he spoke, no guns were allowed in the room at an NRA convention due to security concerns.
I wonder.
No guns don't make things safer. The hypocrisy of the fact is they know that in their hearts, and all that matters to them is lobbyism, and all that matters to them is keeping the poor people and keeping everybody at the end of the day in America off kilter enough that they can oppress them financially and just run it like some sort of secret tyranny because everybody's so distracted and brainwashed.
Yeah, well, Texas in particular, that's like, I mean, that's
23 places in the states have like a right to carry, open carry. So like, it's just
the government in Texas, the governor in particular kept loosening the gun laws. And actually that's why Beto O'Rourke actually made a stance. He actually went and like heckled them at the press conference. I mean, yes, he's running against them for governor. There's political reasons,
but more people need to do that.
Yeah.
If you can't actually stand up and speak truth to power when everybody's just pretending that this is fine, and I don't believe America will fix itself.
Yeah,
it can't protect its children from guns, but it will force a woman to give birth in that atmosphere. I'm done with them.
Yeah,
I'm done.
Maybe they can finally see the light. But here in Quebec, things are, I mean, not murderous, but like the Bill 96 passed, which is not very popular law. That's at least not in the circles I run in. It's a restrictive law. Basically, it increases, it adds to Bill 101, like Bill 101 on steroids. Like, for example, language laws, for example, it reinforces like workplace law as French, but also apparently medical service, unless you can prove you're a historic Anglo, I believe like medical services, like legal services, what have you, are not offered to you in English.
Well, so what's selfishly, I could say that I speak pretty good French, despite people thinking to the contrary, because I will engage, I engage in English generally on Twitter, even if you engage with me in French. Anyway, the long story short is I speak pretty dang good French. I'm not reading poetry or novels, and that breaks my heart, honestly and truthfully. This makes it a more divisive issue than it needs to be, but I'm also a historical Anglophone. So I'm protected from all these. What this really hurts is actually French children coming up who won't be able to go to really fundamentally the school of their choice, because their government has now decided for them what's best for them for their education as an adult, which is absurd and beyond their reach. And I think it's only going to lead to people leaving to go to school elsewhere. And that's a shame.
And immigrants too. Apparently, like, you're only allowed to get government services in English up into for the first like 6 months.
Yeah.
You have to learn French in 6 months, which you don't learn French in 6 months.
No, I've been here my whole life. And it's not something you just pick up casually so that you're going to be working fully bilingually in 6 months. You need to be
elementary and high school bilingual, like French immersion education. That's how come I can speak French.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, school taught me how to conjugate a verb, and life taught me how to speak Quebec French. Like, it took a village to come to Quebec French. And I think that it not only does it underestimate that, it also reinforces the fact that Quebec is seen as xenophobic and not really friendly to outsiders. And additionally, it's just a shame because I really love Montreal, and I really think that I've never had a problem speaking with people here, franglais, whatever. Like,
I still don't understand why like something like school is masculine or a chair is feminine. That part's always confused.
But whatever turns you on, man. Like, at the end of the day, I love the sense of community where I could just, when on the street, this isn't an issue. This is only an issue where people talk politics. It's only an issue on Twitter. But at the end of the day, this is also going to impact our economy in a way I don't think we've seen since the referendum.
Yeah,
I think this is
designed for charade. It's designed for what's his name? Legault's political base.
Yes.
In the,
100%.
He doesn't need Montreal to keep a majority.
He doesn't. But the thing is, Montreal is a video game hub, and we're a tech hub. And like I saw, people are discussing the fact that a lot of these workers are transient, and they pop in, they pop out as needed. Nobody's going to come here for a stint for 2 years and intentionally pick up a whole new language if this is just a pit stop and their language fundamentally for their job is English, because tech is English, video games is English.
Yeah, exactly. But then we some good stuff, some positive news is happening. Like, I mean, just for laughs, announced more of a lineup. We were going to be covering that this year.
We need the laughs, yo. We need the laughs.
Osheaga's coming back, big group of people. I think Fringe Fest is coming up. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming up in the next little while. Also, the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, I started watching that. I know you're more of a Star Trek person than a Star Wars person, but first 2 episodes, very dramatic, very, very good. And yeah, it's.
Well, and also Mount Royal and a bunch of these streets are going to be, the pedestrian only streets are starting. And considering the current situation in the States, I would recommend to everybody that, if you're looking to finally spend all these travel dollars that you've been saving up through the pandemic when you couldn't go, have a staycation, blow it out in Montreal, or might I suggest the East Coast. I
saw you did something with a bee or something like that.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to say I'm a hero, but I mean, there was a bee, it was struggling in the ocean, and you got to save the bees, man. That's a whole other topic.
How did the bee get to the ocean?
Well, there's a lot of forest that really smack dab meets ocean in Nova Scotia. It's very interesting. Anyway, Canada's beautiful. Blow your money here this summer. Don't take it to the States because you might get shot while you're there.
Well, admittedly, I know some people who are wonderful people in the States.
I'm
Buffalo,
not
New
saying
York.
people.
I know.
I'm not saying people.
One of my favorite
One of
places.
my
Like,
my twin soul bestie hetero life mate is totally an American. Shout out Shannon, what up? But no, at the end of the day, it's more it's more dangerous, and I don't
yeah,
suggest that we keep giving our money to a country that seems to be making such poor decisions when we need to revitalize Montreal
yeah,
and we need to see more of our own country instead of
yeah. But I do
elevating
support supporting
others.
Buffalo because I know a lot of good people there, other cities too. But yeah, like fair point. To your point, I have my point. Yeah, but we should definitely support our Montreal. We should support rest of Canada, and then we should support this by giving us a like and a share on Facebook. Subscribe, smash that like button on YouTube. Follow.
Tell your friends. We're good people.
You want to see the B story? Follow at McMoxie on Twitter and Instagram. That's Dawn. At Jason C. McLean on Twitter, Instagram. That's me. I follow at Forget the Box on Twitter and Instagram. And of course, yeah, for daily content, check out, of course, get our Android app and check out forgetthebox.net. We'll catch you next time for another FTB weekend.